Now, welcome to Control, game made by Remedy Entertainment, aka that famous Finnish company which got a big success with Max Payne and has then remained quite artistically consistent. So but Control is the shooter they made a few years ago, and let's just start it. It's a game which is kind of easy to understand how the gameplay works, but the setting and story is not that easily understood.
This is gonna be weirder than usual. Can't be helped. You called me. So here I am. I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room. And the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape, a famous person. Like in that movie, what is it called? The prison movie. The room's a cell, and the picture, it's different. For each of us, it can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger. There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here. Why did you bring me here? Hello? Anyone here?
And like this it began. The protagonist arrived to this. Looks very much like a government agency thing. Well, it is. United States of America, Federal Bureau of Control. Venio Investigative Imperium, something about investigation. But even from here you could see that there's something very unsettling in this location. It's the fact that there's nobody here. In this kind of government facility you would expect that there would be somebody behind that front desk. Or maybe not, but there would be some sort of way that people would know that somebody is coming there. But there's nothing. It's empty. Newspaper, ashtray, which is quite anachronistic for modern era. That would be, well, that's a security booth, which you could expect that there would be a guard. Hell, you could expect anything to be here. And no metal present on her. And there's collectible. Correspondence, certain objects. Yeah, that's very official seeming note of weapons, pages, laptops, smartwatch, smartphones, smart game device, anything smart. Number 2, pencils. That's the strange one. Any objects considered iconic representation of archetypical culture, rubber duck, sketching bubbles. that kind of official statement about quite mundane objects is kind of sinister, yet also comforting, indicating that things are known. That yes, there's official policies and all that. And the genre this game follows is something like a, you could say, modernistic mix of conspiracy theories and also this kind of ancient stories that, yeah, these supernatural things are actually real, and there's a government or official agencies which work with them, and they do have official policies, employments, and all that kind of recognizable hazards. Bureau at work. Looks like a janitor. So, which is kind of interesting little thing that you would expect that this kind of sinister Men in Black organization to be very secretive. Oh, but I say it is secretive, but there would also be something that, oh yeah, now you're employee, things are done this way and that way. But this kind of emptiness is very, you could say...
Bureau of Control. All these years I've been looking for them and they were hiding in plain sight.
And looks like the protagonist just kind of stumbled upon them in that very intro showing brutalist, windowless, huge skyscraper. And there is a skyscraper very much resembling that in New York. And there is kind of a lot of tall tales about what kind of building it is used for. And the technology in here is actually, you could say, very carefully it's basically tape recorders, old-fashioned landline telephones, wooden desks, that CRT television, old-fashioned tabletop fan. Yeah, the technology is old. It would be something like 50 to 60 years old technology in this office. So there would be a very deliberate reason why such kind of anachronistic structures or works would be here, or better say they will be. But it's first, before you know anything, that kind of harsh maintained anachronistic styling is very intimidating. But this kind of emptiness is worse. But there's the guy at work.
Hey, excuse me.
There you are. You are here about the job. Janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview. Go that way to the elevator.
Thanks. Elevator that way. Got it.
Very good. I'm Ahti, the janitor, by the way. You'll work for me. You can say I sent you. If they don't hire you, then you are no helmet. There be work for the axe. Take them behind the sauna, you malot.
I've done enough night shift loner jobs to know it makes us come off weird. Ahti the janitor is a friendly face in my book.
Better than somebody with no face at all. Think about it. No face.
And
that said, I know what you're thinking. If there's an axe murderer around, that's him.
And Ahti is interesting case because Remedy is a Finnish developer. They deliberately made as Finnish stereotype character to Finns with his very janky rally English way of speaking and accents, Finnish expressions, jankly translated, and all that, which is... And now the elevator's here. It wasn't here before, now it is. I actually didn't notice this thing because it just appeared. And Ahti is voiced and also quite much voiced by Finnish actor Matti Suosalo, who won a reward.
They told me
He won
I imagined
2020
it.
Games BAFTA Award from
I've been
Best Supporting
trying to calm it
Character.
down ever since. Will you help?
Yeah, that's the main character's voice. Now, from those names which appeared, Sam Lake, if I remember right, was he the actor of the voice actor of Max Payne,
For a moment.
or was he the
You know
basically
what's on my
creator and
mind.
the face
My baby brother,
originally
Dylan.
for Max? Can't remember both, but he's quite a big important character in Remedy's modern history. And and Ahti is kind of interesting little character when when you deliberately make, you could say, a local stereotype for, in sense that yeah, more of this kind of old-fashioned office technology. But this office does, and I do say that this kind of emptiness is actually very unsettling in this kind of location. You would just expect that even if this would be outside office hours, there would be at least somebody at the security guards present, not just the weird janitor, especially when it's a foreigner. Well, that doesn't work. But the character of Ahti is really interesting in the sense that he is the very strong stereotype, which is very unfamiliar to a game which is meant to be international markets. That's why it has this kind of very American settings, but it has very un-American stereotype as very prominent character, which I find both strange and fun. Yeah, something strange is going on in this place, even more than what it being strange. Yeah, the setting has already been established. It's crazy.
Shit.
Yeah, I have a map,
The murder weapon? Really?
and there's this kind of false window, dead man, blood, and obvious murder weapon of suicide.
And there goes the poster.
Objects of power can cause or be results of AWE's altered world events, intrusions upon the perceived reality. Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner and you're it.
Look at this place. Where am I?
Oh yeah. Now we're at this about as abstract location as it can be. void, this huge pyramid looming above. Yeah, and it also gives some basic movement tutorials and combat lesson studies. You can do hand-to-hand combat.
The same gun.
Yeah. And that weapon looks very, you could say, futuristic revolver or shotgun. But it looks like a toy. It doesn't look like a gun. Even though it has the basic shape of a gun, it doesn't look like a gun. But it can be used to shoot. And gameplay wise, it also has regenerating ammo. You don't need to reload it or anything like that. You can aim, you can shoot, and the ammo regenerates, so it's very convenient. No need to gather it around, which also would. And there's strange things appearing, and they are hostile. And if you get damaged, these droplets give health. But at this phase, combat is not at all big deal. So, health pickups, infinite ammo gun, all very, you could say, basic gameplay things. So, looks like there's a new I was hired. The janitor's assistant has a fancy job title. Director of Bureau.
Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after the pyramid spoke to me, and it was just noise, and I understood every word. And this gun's alive. You know what? I'm happy. Happy to be here. Things have quieted down outside. Is it safe to go?
Yep, things are very strange in here. Yep, reality has something like a habit in this game of being quite shifty.
You can't let this happen. 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 You stopped it.
Oh yeah.
You... Oh, thank you. That was... horror. Get the fuck away!
And some kind of strange... guards with guns appeared out of nowhere. They look human shaped, but they don't, in a sense, look human. And I do say that the gameplay is good. You run around, you shoot things, and the setting is also good. But this game does have a
Communication. Guide us. Reach the hotline.
yeah, looks like some kind of things are going around. So that guy, those guards look something like you could say. Could it be called to be something? Yep, that's the same person. I never noticed that little strange detail before, but that's the same person has already have portrait appearing there. And in addition to gun use, there's also all this kind of personal mod objects you can actually get. The big bomb shelter thing that can be opened, and that red stuff is dangerous. Of course, it's got these bizarre shapes, forms, and generally unreal appearance. And of course, you can also. These shelters contain stuff, and man dangling in the air without being hanging from air. Yep, reality is quite much out of lunch. Gone very much out of control. Yep. Things don't look too good.
Tried to invade me earlier. The hiss. Burrowing into everything in this place.
Is the hiss your enemy? Alright, it's our enemy.
Yeah, and there's also this kind of lots of documentation to be found to give an explanation about what this place actually is, what they are doing, and on what has the protagonist stumbled herself into, except just having a bizarre janitor in the place with a very Finnish way of talking, most likely because being Finnish. But and in addition to regular guards you have faced, there are also, you could say, boss fight guards as well, or soldiers, which I do say that may be very dangerous. Got you. Would have been embarrassing to be killed.
Cleanse the control point. What does that mean? Let me fix it.
But something strange has been going on, and only director can basically undo the damage. Basically take control of the situation and see that, yeah, you know, that's not the way to do it. Let's put these rooms into normal shape. Let's make the lighting normal.
You did it. We did it.
And generally you could say that, yeah.
Hear me? Are you with us? With the Bureau? Are you still sane?
I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to somebody sane.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
My turn. Should I lie? Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting.
I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
And now I know the protagonist's name, Jesse.
Director Faden. Call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Look, somehow this hostile force, this...
Hiss?
that works? Somehow the hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot.
Trench is dead. Shot.
Ah.
I found his body. And the gun. Do I tell her it looked like a suicide?
The service weapon.
Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me, saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point, push the hiss out. The whole room shifted around.
You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet. A janitor let me in.
I love it. This is fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already. She's the opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the bureau she's a part of. Yes. I can try. I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay. You with me? We did it before. Push the hiss out.
Yep. Something has been happened. So now there would be different kind of things to be doing. There's the boardroom. I would say that in corporate settings this would be the, or would I say in corporate context, this would be the most important and prestigious and scary location to be in. It would of course depend on what is your reason. But there's the control point, let's just make use of it. There's outfits, there's fast travel system. Nothing really you could say special. Quite much basic gameplay functions. And throughout the game you can get there's of course the chance to get more security clearances and all that. But I would say that despite this game's very high degree of polish in artistic and technical sense, mostly in artistic sense, it kind of lets me cold because of the presentation is so much that you have to bother yourself to actually look at all these things going on and what's happening to the documentation and video files and all that kind of things that you find, so you actually then become more aware.
Reminder, if you experience an unanticipated building shift, follow these simple steps. 1. Search the room for any altered items or objects of power. 2. Carry the altered item or object of power to the nearest safe room. 3. Wait for Bureau staff to find you and the object. If there are no altered items or objects of power in the vicinity, then reach your supervisor via the nearest intercom and await further instructions. Thank you for your attention.
Interesting to note that when it's a matter of these kind of bizarre reality-bending events in this kind of building, which has no windows, if I remember right, there's one memo which mentions that if you spot a window that appearing in wherever you are, and there's a window, that's a really, really, really bad sign, and you should leave the place really, really quickly and don't look at the window, because, well, who knows where it might be leading and how it might be leading. But, and I would say that also because this building is so huge and labyrinthine, it's quite not that easy to navigate, which might be, of course, which might be very much deliberate choice by remedy. Oh yeah, there she was.
Burrowed too deep. Ripping it out rips them apart.
Yeah, that was kind of bad thing.
We need to make a plan, Jesse.
I can't cleanse them.
I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here. I'll risk it.
Listen, the Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time.
That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an altered world event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench, the ghost, or whatever he is, he mentioned something called the hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the hiss.
Where is the hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom. It's part of this sector, so we can access it even with the lockdown in place. We'll get the door open for you.
Okay, that's my next stop.
That's Tomasi's department. He's the head of communications. I don't think he had an HRA. He kind of made a point about not wearing one earlier. Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the hiss destroy it all.
Alright, that location, setting and stuff was very much, you could say, ominous and
They should have gotten it open by now.
Was both ominous and crazy. And also surreal. Well, that doesn't work.
There it is again, our welcome message.
That's not so much a welcome message, more like some sort of cacophony. Of basically something like a unknown archetypes talking so much memories and you could say collective subconsciousness of mental images about how things are coalescing together into some sort of faceless blobs, which are like completely identifiable as some sort of security guards, but completely unidentifiable as, you could say, people or specifically employed guards. They're just guards, wake guards. Which is kind of understandable, knowing how this place works. Let the gun get the juice back. Well, there's one more of these shelter things. They are something like a checkpoints, respawning points and all that. Yeah, it's in a state that you don't want to get inside. When shelters are turning bad, you know things are really bad. Let's say when locations meant to be very safe and secure are no longer that, things are bad. As in extremely bad. That get out of the dodge as soon as you can. Level bad. And here's another room. Dead letters. Mail sorting room. And things here are, judging by the lighting and all that, extremely bad. And I really do appreciate this kind of very clear color language present. Of course, the basic gameplay of running around, dodging, crawling, aiming, shooting, it's all solid gameplay. Not well. when the makers started with, when you have made Max Payne, although I have only played the first two, it's gonna be assumed that they should know how to direct, how to make a good shooting game with running and gunning. Which is not at all surprising that the gameplay in that sense is solid. Although it does get more complex with all kinds of, extra, you could say, extra maneuvers and I was spoiling ahead, psychic powers. Well, let's just make the place less crazy. And that's very impressive architecture, this kind of moving bits going about. It must have been a very complex thing to animate with these 3D models. Yep, the place is so big and so complex that there's a need for the fast travel system. That should tell you how big the place is.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes.
Yeah.
Communications. We're on the right track.
Although I would say that the basic structure and setting is really good. There's no denying that.
An object of power. Looks like the hiss have latched onto it. We need to cleanse it.
Yeah, and there was some sort of thing which telekinetically shoots stuff at people. Finding all kinds of stuff, handy stuff. So it would be time to actually go and fetch it. This is, you could say, in a sense, quite of the, you could say, simple kind of puzzle relating these objects of power that you have to find, cleanse, purify, and destroy. Over say find, purify. Oh yeah, can't get in through there, but maybe through here. Object of power. Oop. Now run and grab it. A floppy disk which can fly and lob stuff around. Looks 5 1/4 inch disk.
It's harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
And now Jesse has become a Jedi. Massive amount of telekinetic abilities. Very, very, very. And this is also, you could say, quite important. These kind of conveniently usable psychic powers, lacking the better term. They are very convenient, and of course, in gaming, ability to lob stuff around and whatever you say, or however you want to see it, the lobbing stuff around causes usually quite a big chunk of damage, but it tends to have slightly little, you could say, slow. So now not only do I have a weird gun, I now have the telekinetic powers.
There you are. You were gone. Cut off. I got it.
And now, of course,
Right? This will help me fight this.
you get the demonstration of, well, now it's a chance of, now why don't you show the abilities in action. And that guy looks vaguely like a fireman. Also fireman, and combination of fireman and a soldier. Well, they go down quite nicely.
Emily said that the hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
So now I have to find the mailroom, which seems to be over here. And here. Yep. Luckily they still had placed lots of these kind of.
Locked. Maybe there's a key nearby.
Yeah, a cleansing point. But it didn't seem to do much.
This must open the door.
And there was a dead agent, which is bad for him but good for me. And now it would be a boss fight. Yes, this game has boss fights. And boss fights usually mean that they have a health bar. Oh shit. And yeah. And once you die, you lose some of the gathered experience points or whatever you would say that. But it's now time to actually take him down. Yeah, boss fights are challenging. This game is not without its challenge. Although I do say that part of this game's challenge is bizarre, is the I seem to be making you. He seems very good at that. Avoid the big, huge telekinetic chunk attack. But not that good at the avoid being shot at attack. So it's a matter of lurking about and then moving around to get the Oh yeah, and quite big amount of damage. So staying in protecting location. Yep, that was kind of risky maneuver of dashing to the battlefield. But it was necessarily risky maneuver. And he goes down, shooting him down. Or at least enough to make him flee to these weird tunnels, which...
I have a feeling he'll be back.
Oh, he will be back, because this game does...
Should be past the mailroom.
Because this game has this... Control has these kind of, you could say, recurring things, that bosses that you can come to places later and find out more about.
Alright, take this down. The situation in Cuba has been evaluated by the relevant authorities.
Alberto Tomasi, head of comms.
At the U.S. Embassy in Havana was caused by...
The hiss got him.
...in the hands of a foreign power. Numerous personnel have damage to the inner ear, but most are expected to make a full recovery. Of course, the event also...
Strange things in here. But there's the hot chamber of the hotline. Hotline chamber. Yep, you can say that the geography of this game and the location really makes no sense at all. Yep, there's this kind of things.
A lot of roadside motels across the country, on the road, on the run, under the radar. This feels like all of them, like something recognized from a dream.
Yep, this is, you could say this is all that kind of, you could say, roadside American motel kind of cultural phenomena thing room. Just vague mess, or better say very distinct and clear mash-up of them all as they were. As in the, well... Yep, and it's kind of well, I'd say this kind of navigational puzzle, in that you can open these rooms with a ding of a bell. And now there's a little bit of a key. Nothing, you could say nothing really truly complicated, because there's just so few little, you could say, elements that you can interact, that you would eventually get into it. But I think with this, it might be time to actually end this demonstration of Control, its weirdness, its craziness, and its basic gameplay. It's a decent game, but to me it's lacking that kind of, you could say, charm. So, short review, decent game, made by Finns, and it has a great character. See ya next time.